Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 2 on the Series X, and this is my Mission Mode Master Ninja Difficulty Gaiden walkthrough. This is Mission 19 of 24. It is also Survival Mission 3 of 8, and it is with the Tonfa. So the Tonfa is not too terribly difficult of a survival mission to use a weapon with. Now, I've mentioned in previous videos how vital the windmill shuriken can be for augmenting your attacks and things like that. And even though the Tonfa has a really long UT, it's very powerful, and it can decimate waves of enemies very neatly and bloodily too. But so you won't need to rely too much on the windmill shuriken if you don't want to use it. Now I am, availing myself of it as well. But the good thing about the Tonfa is that a Tonfa ET is very powerful too, and that one is not nearly as long. Because the Tonfa UT is quite long-winded, but the ET goes by pretty quickly, and it's not going to sacrifice too much your time when you're trying to limit how much time you waste while your karma burst is draining, essentially. So good moves with the Tonfa. I think the rotate Y is fantastic. Forward Y into OT is also terrific. When you throw the windmill shuriken, if it doesn't cut an enemy in half, there's a lot of times where the enemy is kind of flailing around in its death throes, and you can actually go up to it, and on top of getting all the points for the windmill shuriken UT kill, and maybe a killing spree, depending on what you're doing, you can also get follow-up points for the OT as well. And of course, if you're maxed out at Karma Burst 5, that's going to give you the most points possible. So I think in the first video too I mentioned not to absorb the red, green, and blue essence. That was a mistake when I said it. You do want to absorb those. I just meant don't charge off those essences if you can help it. And the Tonfa is actually not too bad for a weapon trial. It really isn't. So there might be some enemies that you struggle with, but it's a very handy weapon. I mean, you can do it. I did the Azuna drop with it there. I don't do too many of those just because they take a long time to do. But let me try to think of other moves. Its X and Y counters are both terrific. I think the Y counter can outright do a lot of damage to, see how he was dying right there? If I had gone up to him, sometimes you get staggered and you can't get up to him in time. Might have been what happened, but in those guys' death throws, you always want to see if you can finish them off with an OT, because that's going to accumulate your points even faster. So we've got a horde of Van Gelfs here with blood gouges, so I'm going to be going around and throwing some incendiaries at them just to weaken them and see if I can delimb them. The Tonfa is actually fantastic for delimbing enemies as well. So we'll just have to see what happens. Anytime I do a UT with an incendiary shuriken, that's not what I want to do. Not that it's the game's fault necessarily, but it's not something that I would recommend that you do, because you don't have any iframes with it. It takes too long. You're probably going to get damage from it, and you're not going to get anything else besides yellow essence. So what I would do probably is I would use the weapon's UT and its ET, and just have equipped the windmill shuriken. Right when a fight starts is a great time to charge up the windmill shuriken. And here we've got some tac ninjas, and we've got some archers that we can guillotine throw. So try when you have a feeling that your karma burst is draining, when it does flash, the letters flash to indicate that it that is running out. It's a nice little touch that it does. That's one visual indication that you need to hurry up and try to get another green before it expires. And when it expires, it fully expires. It doesn't go down like, if you're at 5, it doesn't go down to 4 and then to 3 and then 2. It just expires from 5 to nothing. So try to keep it topped off as much as you possibly can. So we're almost at 1.5 million here. And the attack ninjas are kind of annoying because, them staggering you like that, it's quite frustrating. But try to get amidst some clusters of these guys and do the 360Y with the Tonfa. It's fantastic. That move, the 360Y, if it kills the enemy, you get a chance of it's a standard kill essentially, so you won't sacrifice your chance of getting non-yellow essence. And here's the executors with the Resetsu. I don't remember how well the Tonfa does with the Resetsu. How many UTs it takes? I think it takes a couple. So try to keep the executors off the screen. This could be, a pretty messy situation because, our health is very low, and we've got enemies that can fire at us from off screen. So we've got to be really careful. I'm going to OT this guy, and then if you want to, you can jump near these guys, and like with the Vigorian Flail, you can do on landing 360Y to try to make sure you guard when they blow up. See, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping to get a blue essence from that kill, just because I'm pretty far away from 2 million from my perspective anyway, and I just don't have much health to speak of. Be careful when you kill 2 at once though, if they're close together, because the first explosion will break your guard, and then that won't take any damage ordinarily, but if another one explodes and you can't do anything about it, that will severely damage you. But I think fortunately we do have a recovery wave coming up, so we can depend on that to get some health, as well as some probably a full replenishment of our karma burst. And there's probably just one more of these guys, and then we'll have the scorpions to deal with. It kind of goes without saying, but don't go anywhere near these guys because their propensity to stagger you and jump on you is too risky. And I just wish that they gave out a little bit more health than they do with their drops, but it is a very small enemy, and you're just not going to get much from him. So we're up to 80 kills, and we're just trying to see if we can get some more green essence from these guys. It usually so happens that you can get a full replenishment of your karma burst off these guys. But it didn't happen there, but we got up to 4. And I think I may have charged off one of those green essences there because I was kind of desperate to get a fast charge off of that situation where there was a riot mech or 2 right over there. So this can be very difficult because you got these higher tier demons here. I always forget their names. Blood Gudges is what they are. But if you got incendiary shurikens, try to kill them with those if you need to kill them quickly. And fortunately, we have the Tonfa for the riot mechs, and it is unequivocally the best weapon for them. If they lose an arm or if their face gets destroyed, you can OT them. Okay, so that wave is finished, and now we've got We've got some Van Gelfs here, the lower tier of them, and then it doesn't matter that much though because we've got to contend with a big spam fest of rockets over here. But fortunately, we're getting close to that 2 million. We're not quite there yet. We don't have a multiplier for ourselves, but it doesn't really matter at this point because we don't need too much more. But of course, just watch out for their pounce. And when the Van Gelfs are near the rocket launcher guys, though, sometimes your guillotine throw can mess up, so be careful of that. And we've got a few more Van Gelfs here. And some more rocket launcher guys. Such a fantastic weapon. And I'm probably out of my incendiaries, am I? Yep, I'm out. Otherwise, I would be trying to use them on at least getting that one guy out of the air. So yeah, we're just about there. This might even do it because we have some points in abeyance. You see the kill score, we've got nearly 9,000 there, so we're quite close to it. And there we go, we got it. And now we've got a choice here. We can either just, kill the last guys as much as we can before they kill us, or we can just stand in one place and let them kill us and then just take our score and run with it and, gleefully be happy that we got it. Because we did get it, and I hope you got it too. And the Tonfa, I don't think it's that difficult of a weapon to work with, because its UT is so incredibly helpful. But like anything, if the game is just not working with you very well and not giving you the drops you need at the right times, it could very well be a difficult situation, even though you've got a good weapon. You might even be comfortable or maybe even very skilled at using the weapon, but you're kind of at the mercy of what the game is going to give you. Like I've said before, if it's being stingy about giving out greens, there's nothing to do about it. And that's one of the things that's kind of frustrating about survival is being at the whim and it being luck based in that regard. But there are things that you can do, while you do have your karma burst, maximize your UTs and OTs and killing sprees and instant kills. Yeah, I'm taking this a little bit further than I thought, because we got the 2 million a little bit a while ago, but I decided to just run with it as much as possible, I guess. And I can't remember what the next mission is, but you'll see it in the playlist. And if there's any move that's essential to my strategy, I'll definitely point that out and let you know, because there are some key things that you can do with a weapon. You might not even think about it either. It could be a weapon that you really have no familiarity with and you're not particularly good with using. I have some moves that you can do that will hopefully obviate that problem for you as much as possible. Because there's nothing worse than doing something like this. It's quite difficult in the first place, only to do it with a weapon that you think is trash. Like, I think the Kasarigama is trash. I know that might be something that other people don't agree with, but it's my opinion. I just don't care for it. I think it's not a good weapon. I think it's too slow for this game, but it's not that it's not serviceable, and it's not like you can't do the gold medal with it. It's just that I really don't like it, and I don't like the fact that with the Kasarigama, I think that that enemy wave comes with dogs, and it's really difficult to deal with dogs or any enemy that can't be delimbed with the Kasarigama or like the flails. So kind of begs the question, why are enemies in this game that can't be delimbed when the whole system is based on that. That whole structure of how the game is. It's kind of mind-boggling. But that has been mission 19, and I will see you in the 20th mission. Hopefully that one, you fared well with that one, or at least well enough to get the 2 million and your gold medal for that one. And until the next mission, please continue to take care.